Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? So, of course, the age-old question, is Lords Mobile worth playing in 2023? Now, here's what I can tell you, right? If you play it, there is a lot to this game. Namely, there's trapping, gryphon trapping, rally trapping, solo trapping. There's being a garrison filler, where you fill someone's castle and you just block. You can also just as easily be a guy that joins the rallies, and you can be the filler who goes around and basically wipes other players out, right? Whatever you choose to be in this game, though, primarily it is a PvP-centric based game, okay? The next thing is, right from the get-go, it is a pay-to-win game, okay? It has always been a pay-to-win game. There are people that'll tell you that you can play this free-to-play, and you can, but you're going to probably have a sunk cost of a good year or two of just non-stop playing. Now, how bad is this game in comparison to other games like Clash of Clans, or Call of Dragons, or Rise of Kingdoms, or vice versa, you know, whatever mobile game you can think of? I'd argue this game is probably the best in that genre. And here's why, okay? When you're looking at this game and you're wondering, okay, I'm playing a mobile game. Why should I play this one mobile game across all the others? Well, for one thing, when you start out, you're actually going to be in a migration-protected kingdom, okay? They're going to basically level the playing field for you so that everybody starts at the same level and everybody's going to progress at the same pace unless, of course, they have dinero or money, right? Now, I will say that, you know, for the vast majority of people that play this game, right, and the one thing that is separating it from, like, Clash of Clans and other games is that typically they don't have a system in place where they'll separate you all that much. You know, for example, like if you play Clash of Clans, you're going to go from Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and you're just going to progress based on how many times you survive and how many times you build up, and eventually you join clans, and it's a very progressive build-up type game. You know, you play Call of Dragons, you're going to start out in a zone, but everything's a lot more, I would say, instead of a point and click, it's a move and hit. And one of the downsides to those move and hit, or the basis of starting from the bottom up, is that you don't really get to see the extremes, which is to say you're not going to see the guy that walks and mollywops the living bejeebus out of everybody, right? You just don't see it. This game, you'll walk in, and guaranteed you're going to have somebody get mollywopped right in front of you, and it'll make you think, okay, maybe I should join a guild. Maybe I've got a good reason for that, right? But the other thing too is it's like the vast majority of this game is kind of built around the idea that you're going to go around and gather. You're going to work on your heroes. You're going to build up on actually introducing more and more items and gear to your account, which is all going to add up. And it's one of those games that is kind of rewarding in that you know that as you invest more time and more energy into it, you've got that, you've kept it, and you can just continuously add to it. Whereas in other games where it penalizes you, like if you play Call of Clash, hell, pick one of those games, and chances are after a certain year point, they reset things. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, that's not all that great. The other thing is that typically they don't have as big clashes either. Like, the idea that you can go against one kingdom against another kingdom is really kind of unique to this game. Okay, you're not going to fight multiple kingdoms all at once as fluidly and as easily as you can in this game. Like, honestly, it's kind of unique in that regard. There are some games that get close, but they're really kind of limited. And so that is one thing that, you know, makes Lords Mobile stand out. Now, as far as like actual progression goes, I mean, yeah, there's lottery systems, there's, you know, they try to incentivize people to spend money and obviously use third-party app stores if possible, and there's different events that rotate throughout the week and different months, and, you know, it's kind of nice in knowing that, you know, there's kind of like a battle pass, they call it Kingdom Labors. You know, they've even got like, so for example, if you go into Vergeway, that's more of a tower defense. You know, it's kind of like, you know, so they've got kind of like mini games within the game, right? If you're not strictly wanting to be the PvP guy and you're wanting to do more of the PvE side of the game, you can do that. I mean, you can go around and hit monsters at different tiers, get rewards for doing it, and you can repetitively do it and get rewards. Like right now, they have the Summer Faction War, which is kind of cool in that basically And this is a common theme in this game, right? Is that you're basically going to be rewarded for joining and helping. Like right now, they're giving rewards based on people that are doing the best that they possibly can doing in Guild Best, just to get the most amount of points. Summer Faction War is basically just an event where they're giving away an Alienware laptop to somebody, and they're really just expecting people to basically do the event. And this, for the most part, is free to play. But obviously, if you want to be in the top 10, you're gonna have to spend some money. But the main reason why I bring this up, though, is again, this is kind of unique to this game a little bit, because every game has its own kind of events and stuff like that where they have that kind of stuff. But this game's probably what really kind of got that prevalent. Beyond that, though, you have your Vanguard, you have your Battle Royales, which are just giant events where entire groups of kingdoms then fight for a single territory, and they run for titles and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, and then, of course, there's even rewards and stuff that you can get within that. As far as, just overall, just the different things that you can do in the game, beyond going around gathering and doing monster hunting and doing other attacks on players, or what we call a trap, which is just nothing more than you're basically taking a guy that's bigger than you, having him hit you, and having his wallet go, oh. Because that's effectively what we do in this game, right? Now, I mean, as far as overall enjoyment, would I recommend this game to somebody in 2023? It's not the same game that it was 3 or 4 years ago, and you probably might have heard about the game from Mr. Beast 3 or 4 years ago. Now, if you're wondering, are you convinced that this is worth the investment? Is this worth the time and the effort? A lot of people that have played the game for a number of years will tell you that it is kind of one of those games that, as it's progressed, they've added more and more features, which makes it more and more difficult. The longer you play the game, the more invested you need to be in order to really enjoy it in the same way. And I say this because, for example, okay, when this game first started out, I was in Kingdom 57. There are over 1,000 kingdoms in this game, okay? And they don't plan on stopping. They don't plan on merging either, as far as I know. Which means that as the game progressively keeps going, and even by the time this video is out, there are probably going to be more and more and more kingdoms. And then naturally, that also means that there are more and more opportunities, as I like to see it, as a way for you to get into a guild, find your own kingdom, or own little caveat in the part of the world, and you can take your kingdom and own it. Because not everyone's going to fight you for it, which is kind of nice. And you get all the benefits that come along with it, which is also really nice. And, there's just a lot of things that you can do to kind of enjoy the game. And it's really just up to you how you want to play it. And the nice thing is now while a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, you got to stay in a shield all the time, or, oh, you got to do this all the time. And yeah, if you're playing it free to play, yeah, your life sucks. It's going to suck in this game. I'm really going to be honest with you. It really does freaking suck to be you. But that is not to say that it is an end-all game. You could be that guy and keep playing and save your stuff and save and save and save and save and save. And eventually it will pay dividends. And so in a way, you really can't focus on the negative. If you do, and that's all you do with this game, you're probably going to look at the big picture, which is, okay, IGG is a company that wants to make money, and naturally they're going to put in their hooks as much as they possibly can, and they're going to give you enticements and tell you, yes, if you have the golden ticket, your life will be better. And it's no different in this game. But, I will tell you that there are a couple of things that you can definitely look out for. Namely, there's what I would describe as a kind of a troop grind, right? Which is to say that you can only really expect to have so many troops in this game to defend yourself. And that number continuously gets bigger and bigger as the time goes on. So if I had to make a suggestion, what I would do is actually give yourself enough speeds and resources to maintain just the bare minimum, which would be like 375,000, just one march. Just bare minimum. Have enough for maybe 1 or 2 marches and enough to hide your troops and play the game that way. Because naturally, that's an easier way to maintain the game. It's easier, it's more enjoyable, in my opinion, because then you can just join rallies and you're not having to be focused on trying to trap. Now, if you're trying to trap or be the rally lead, okay, 2 different ways of playing the game. The rally lead's an offensive player. He spends a stupid amount of money to be able to be where he's at, but effectively, he's got the most enjoyment. He's able to go pick a guy, say, you know what, we're going to go blow his ass up, and they do that, right? And that's basically the game, right? The other guy, which is a trap, you can get away with spending a little bit and you'll have a good time, but there is obviously the off chance that you might also get screwed. If you're asleep which this game does not reward well, because you gotta stay shielded if you want to keep your stuff. So if you happen to fall asleep, go to school, whatever, this game's cruel. It don't give a damn. So if you fall asleep, you can get yourself caught with your pants down, you are gonna lose everything, okay? So that said, if that bothers you, then maybe this game might be questionable for you. But that said, now, my total recommendation for this game is basically yes, you really ought to try it. If you haven't already, I'd say most people will probably find this game to be kind of fun, especially if you've got a group of friends, because really you can get in a group, and as long as you're just kind of chatting back and forth, and you're not terribly centric focused on just trying to be the best thing in the world, it's really not that bad of a game. And so in some ways, more than one, I would recommend, if anything, just doing the dailies and doing the basics of just stashing things is meaningful over time. It really is. And there's success stories of people that have been playing this game for 3, 4, or 5 years straight and have gotten very far, completely free to play. So it's not to say that it can't be done. But if you want a suggestion as to why, that is why I say it is worth playing in 2023. And I hope you guys will watch the next video, which I have got here, and you might enjoy that as well.